Hello and welcome to the Home and Design Show. I'm your host, Linda Donnelly, and today we're speaking with Ed Wollstein of Boca Bargoons about the subject of fine fabrics. Hello, Ed.
Hello, Linda.
Thank you so much for joining me.
My pleasure.
I'd like to talk a little bit about Boca Bargoons and how you have come to know so much about the fine fabric industry.
Boca Bargoons, I've been doing this for 35 years. I started off as an upholsterer, which I don't know if you know that or not.
No, I didn't.
I started off as an upholsterer. My dad was an upholsterer. My dad's dad was an upholsterer. So I got into upholstery in New York, in my dad's shop, stripping down furniture and doing that. And I realized that it really wasn't for me, but I started doing professionally. And then as time went on, I realized I didn't like to do it as much as my forefathers did. So I got out of that and I got into decorative fabric.
Well, I'd love to know about the 14 stores and how they came to be the place to find the best fabrics.
And that is a very good question, because I had no idea in my younger days how big Boca Bargoons would be. However, because I grew up as an upholsterer in the fabric business, learning the difference in qualities at a young age, it brought kind of like that talent into my life. So as I began with my first store, I understood quality, and I always went after buying good, high-quality decorative fabrics.
Now, you've mentioned the word quality several times so far, and I want to talk a little bit about quality because there are a lot of fabrics out there. And there are, I'm sure, a very large range of the quality. Tell me about the type of fabrics you have and about how much they cost, wholesale versus retail, and what kind of process goes into making them.
Absolutely, and in that lies a whole big story of the different types of fabric out there. We and I, with Boca Bargoons, I do most of the buying, and what I try to do is get a potpourri of different qualities of fabric, including hand-screened prints, woven upholstery, chenilles, velvets, silks. There is a whole bunch of different categories of fabrics that one has to carry when you're a fabric store. Mm-hmm. And with me being a high-end decorative fabric store, now I have to reach out and cover categories like silk, embroideries, crewels, damasks, and different compositions of fabric. So in that search for high-end fabric, you have to really travel the world to find.
Do you travel a lot to
Absolutely.
find these fabrics?
I'm all over the world finding and hunting down fabric. It isn't easy, and it's built quite a bit of relationships along my search has built quite a bit of relationships over the years, and I've come to meet many of the people who own the high-end decorative jobbing name brands.
And what are some of the name brands you carry?
Well, Brunswick and Fee, Clarence House, Lee Joffa, just to name a few, Scalamandre. I'm friends with the ex-owners of the Scalamandre family, so we would carry those type of fabrics.
Those are all the top brands.
Those are the fabrics that are seen in the White House. The people who decorate for the White House do that type of fabric and purchase those kind of fabrics for
and
those
these
jobs.
are very intricately created and manufactured, are they not?
Absolutely.
Hand by hand?
They're made in the old world looms that move very slowly. Today they have high-tech looms, and a loom is the piece of machinery that actually fashions the fabric. It's a weaving process that goes back and forth, and it combines all the threads and makes the lovely fabric. So today it's more high speed, not as quality, whereas years ago it was done by hand. And the looms were even sometimes powered by hand and pedal and from the early days, and that evolved into the slower moving, more mechanicalized machinery that the Europeans would weave on, and they moved like 1 inch. 1 inch of fabric every 3 or 4 minutes versus 1 yard of fabric every minute today.
So I imagine there's more than meets the eye. When
Absolutely.
pick up a piece of fabric in your store, there's actually a lot of hands that touch that fabric before it even gets to the roll. I mean, that's basically...
Absolutely, and that's just the woven fabrics. When you talk about printed fabrics, the fabric first gets woven and then it's printed. And then there's different printing processes. Hand screen prints is where they lay out 100 yards or 50 yards of fabric at a time, and then they take screens and they put the dyes in the screens, and the screens are cut out for the individual patterns, and then they'll move the screen for a new color into a different position and do that. Some screens have 30, 40 different colors. Like for example, we have one that's in your magazine, in our article, that has, I believe, 26 screens from Brunswick and Fee, and it's a beautiful, beautiful fabric that we now carry in our stores, along with many others.
Well, thank you so much. It sounds like the fabrics that we see and love in that create looks in our homes, they are actually very high quality, and the best place to find them would be at Boca Bargoons.
Absolutely. The average ticket price for my fabric in the store is ranging from $39 to $69 a yard, and some are even less. Then we give sales out all the time. Sometimes it's 25% off, sometimes it's 30% off, sometimes there's coupons available in the paper, sometimes the combination of all these things. Someone can actually walk into my store and buy a $200 a yard fabric for $30. And here's the real thing. It's available, it's current. It's not like it's old and, years gone by.
No, these are the trends.
These are brand new fabrics that are today's fabrics, as well as heirloom fabrics that we carry. Fabrics that are from years gone by, that have been, the production has stopped years ago, and we still may have a piece or two. So it's almost like you walk into this store, and if you know anything about decorative fabric, you'll realize that you're in the equivalent of a wine cellar, and pulling out Rothschild bottles 50 years old and paying only 20% of what you should. And that's the beauty of Boca Bargoons. That's why people come to us. That's why the design trade always comes down, and they buy their fabric and they buy rolls of it, and they present it to their clients and make everybody's happy because of these savings. Boca Bargoons is named Boca Bargoons because of the bargoon, not because of the Boca. It's because of the bargoon. And that's kind of like a crazy name for a bargain. And that's really what launched us into having so many stores and basically a household name.
Well, as luck would have it, we have one right here in Naples.
Yes.
And I'm looking forward to coming back to see it there.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you for coming in and for sharing your expertise with us.
My pleasure. Thank you.
And thank you for viewing the Home and Design Show. We'll see you next time. For the world's best fabric choices, your first stop is Boca Bargoons.